we're back in the Warrior Studio again with,
I'm Jake,
and I'm Chantel.
and we are live in a cold basement in Calgary.
Yeah, because it is snowing again.
Woo!
Blech.
I know.
And we're
It's
the
exciting.
Paradinks.
Yes, we are. And that's exciting too.
Yeah,
We love to be the pair of dinks.
yeah,
I'm excited.
yeah. But hey, I just saw you have a few really cool looking stamps on your desk. Um, they say Traveler's Notebook on here.
Yeah.
Where'd you get these?
They came with a traveler's notebook
Oh,
that was given to me.
okay. And have you written in that much?
A lot, actually.
Is it
I
mostly from your travels?
Yeah, that's precisely what I put in it. I have lots of different journals, and I don't know. I buy them with a purpose in mind, but they eventually just become filled with whatever thing I thought of when that journal was nearby that I felt I needed to record. So they kind of turn into mess, but at one point they were organized in my mind.
Okay. Do you
So this one was travel, my travel one, because it was this nice leather binding, and you could swap out the inside with different like paper inserts or like cardboard paper inserts. So it was like this journal you could constantly refill, and then they were nice and tiny, so you can stack them away at home when you're done with them.
so that one you have strictly as your travel notebook?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, on that topic, let's talk about your travels.
Let's talk about it.
I thought we could talk more about your travels because I really haven't been anywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
I could tell you right now where I've been if you want to get that out of the way pretty quick.
Where have you been?
Been, well, in Canada, I have been to BC and Alberta. I haven't been anywhere else in Canada.
Wow. Even just a stop at the airport?
Yeah, no,
No, no other airports in Canada.
no.
Wild.
Yeah, I have family in Saskatchewan and I've always been meaning to get there and then friends out east, but that's that's like a plan
And it's
needing to happen.
expensive to do in
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah. And yeah, we just haven't really done any traveling in Canada.
No, I haven't seen much of it either.
But you and I have talked about going to Saskatchewan.
Yep.
Maybe we'll do that next year or something.
When it's not snowing.
No, 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 absolutely not. No, we go nowhere during the winter.
Yeah. It's not my favorite weather to be in. The risk of like dying in
Yeah.
freezing temperatures is just really high.
Yeah. In the States, I have been to California and I've been to Washington. And I've been to Cleveland and North Carolina. So I've been to the States more since knowing you. um, I think that's it for I've been to Vegas.
Nevada.
Yeah. So, and then I've been to Mexico, uh, 2 or 3 times, 3 times.
What cities?
Puerto Vallarta.
All three times?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
It's always at a resort. First time was yeah, with a girlfriend, and then went for maybe it was only 2 times, and then went for a wedding.
Hmm.
I don't even know.
That's a classic Mexico trip. The
Yeah,
wedding.
exactly. So really, that's it. I can't think of anything else. So if I have been anywhere else, it was obviously un
Short lived,
yeah,
unremarkable.
unremarkable. Yeah, not interesting. So well, let's talk about where you've been.
Okay. What
I
have you
don't even
got for
know
me?
how to start exactly because I know you've been all over the place. Um,
There's still so much more to go.
okay, so where have you been overseas or abroad?
Off of North America,
Yeah,
uh, Europe.
whereabouts and why?
Um, Let me see. We went to France, England, Iceland, Germany, Italy, technically stopped through Monaco. I just like to throw that in there because it's a super tiny little, like, city country. So I think it's fun that you get to add that in.
And who did you go did you go to all these
And
places, at the same time?
did I
Or,
say
like, in
Sweden?
no,
Okay,
but
and
Sweden.
Sweden.
Was this all with the same, like, group around the same time, like a Europe trip, or are these different times?
No, I did different trips to France and Italy, and then the rest were one trip. Oh, and Ireland. I forget yeah,
Right.
Ireland. How could I forget Ireland?
I know, we just talked about that.
And Northern Ireland, if you wanna get technical. That's a different
Oh,
country.
geez.
Anyways, yeah, just but kinda just scratch the surface of, like, Western Europe. Haven't gone too far into there. Been to a lot of the bigger countries. Um, yeah, on a couple different trips. Once was to go to the Cannes Film Festival. I had a film in the short film corner that year, which was just like day drinking around Cannes and watching films and trying to learn what networking is when you're like 20 years old and
But
trashed on the
cool,
beach.
you have your own video in there, though.
Yeah, it was a huge honor. I'm really glad. Uh, I smile and laugh at it now because I was so young, had no idea what I'm doing. I like the world's largest film market with like nothing to pitch, nothing to sell. It's like, hey, I got a film here. People are
Yeah.
like, cool.
Well, that's a good start.
I know.
Jeez.
I know, but I was like, oh, right. Didn't plan for the
Yeah, like the
it'd
networking
be
part.
like if you get a girl's number and then you're like, oh no, I don't know what do we talk about? you know,
Yeah, yeah.
like that kind of awkward scenario. And then Italy. Well, we did pop over to Italy for a little bit after the film festival because I was dying to just like dip my toe in Italy at least. It's my
Mhm.
first time in Europe, and my family's Italian on my mom's side, so I wanted to like put my toes on
Yeah.
Italian ground. And then the second time, we took our 100-year-old friend to Rome so he could have mass at the Vatican for his 100th birthday. So that was a whole different wild trip, and trying to get around in Europe with a 100-year-old man is like not the easiest thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. The others was a big trip. But anyhows,
Where was your, like, favorite place to go over there?
mm, over
In
there.
Europe, in any of those places that you had named?
I don't know. They all had their own unique thing about them.
Was there any
I felt
place you
really I feel drawn to go back to Ireland, if that says anything. I don't know if that means it was such a great experience or if like I didn't get enough time there. We only spent God, maybe like 4 or 5 days in each place on this trip. Across like 4 weeks or something. So it was just hectic and
Mhm.
chaotic, moving around a lot, but Ireland was really cool.
Was there any place you liked the least for any reason?
The least. Um, I think outside of Cannes and the festival, a lot of the south of France there along the Mediterranean, didn't really like.
No? Mm.
No. Um, I don't know what the vibe it was like just kinda desolate,
Okay.
outside of there. We spent a little bit of time in Nice, and that was kinda dingy. Which is like the big city next to Cannes where the like a big airport and trains and stuff go out of. I don't know, the food was kind of meh.
Hmm,
Yeah, I don't know. It was a little underwhelming, I would say. It's gorgeous weather and scenery though. I loved that about it. But I felt like the towns and getting around there was just kind of like,
mhm.
meh. It's
Okay.
like going like in the interior, when you're in remote areas of the interior. Sure, there's a cool little town out here or something, but most of it is just like
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
There's no people, there's nothing happening. Yeah, you're just nowhere.
Okay. And in the States, you've been to many states.
Yeah, it's like 30 something.
Okay, that's almost the whole country.
Yeah, it's quite a lot.
Well, it's over half at
Most of
least.
them, like by the time I was in high school.
And, was it more traveling through them with your family, moving around or
Yeah, we didn't travel much, for the first, like, decade of life or some so, uh, but when we moved to Washington, DC, we did a lot of traveling up and down the East Coast there. My dad worked 4 days on and then had 4 days of vacation, and so my parents liked to take those days of vacation, um, and just we would go somewhere and
Mhm.
see a new part of the country,
That's cool.
or, like, we saw so many fucking Civil War battlefields.
Oh god.
I swear to God, like every major battle of the Civil War, I've probably been to that fucking battlefield and seen the museum. Yeah, learned way too much about those places. Um, One cool thing though was actually relating to Civil War was there's a piece, little fragments of Abraham Lincoln's skull that
Oh,
you can go see at the
cool.
is it the Walter Reed like Army Hospital in
That's
Washington D.C.
pretty crazy for them to have kept that.
Yeah, I forget the story on how and why, but there they are on display, these tiny little pieces of
What about other presidents' calls?
um, I don't remember if they have anything else from presidents. They got some wild stuff there.
And
And I
here
think
we
when we
have
were
a
there, they had
pinky.
some exhibits from the Body World thing. I don't know if you've seen that
No.
exhibit where they, like, plastify pieces of bodies, so they'll have a whole body's, like, circulatory system, but it's just that, like, there's no skin, there's no muscle, there's nothing, it's just all
Okay.
your veins and arteries and heart and that. They do, like, creative poses or different cutaways. It's really intriguing. I think they're all donated cadavers, and they have this method of preserving different types of tissues,
Oh,
and
that's cool.
yeah,
So they're real bodies.
yeah,
Well, yeah. Wow.
yeah. It's really crazy. I love it. Highly recommend that. I forget how we got talking about that
Civil
now.
Wars, Washington.
Oh, yeah, how I saw so many how many how I saw so many of the states. And then okay, so when we were living there, we literally would go from Maine to Florida, the whole coast. Went to all of those states for, like, whatever reason. Um, when you're in the army, you can stay at, like, any military base,
Mhm.
um, as long like, they have a certain amount of guest housing or hotel stuff. So, a lot of them have availability, and it's really cheap rates. So, with my dad in the army, we could stay in all these places for so cheap and go see all different parts of the country. And then when we moved back to Washington State from Virginia, we drove down to Florida and across over to California and then back up to
Mhm.
Washington. But we did that over 5 or 6 weeks.
Mhm.
And we just leisurely took our time. We had some friends come down, meet us in Texas, and we spent a week just checking out Texas and going around to some different cities. Another week with family in California. Like, just kinda made a, like, big time of it.
Mhm.
I think my dad was guaranteed, like, 6 weeks or something. Like, he had a certain amount of time, like, we're a big window of time before he had to go back to work. So, he was like, "Why am I gonna go straight back to work? Like, I'm gonna take this time off.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna travel, like, fucking what do you call it?" I felt like what is it? The people who went out west in the wagons and stuff on the Oregon
Yeah,
Trail,
yeah, yeah.
because we are just driving forever
Yeah.
through the country. We got this whole suburban packed up with, like, all of the shit to live on the road because, we don't have a home to go back to for a month and a
You have
half.
to keep going.
Yeah, we're living on the road.
Now, how
Mm.
about as an adult? Have you been to back to many of those states or any new ones?
Yeah, been back to a few. Um, what did I add? Man, honestly, I don't know if I've added too many states in a long time here. Oh, yeah, sorry, 2017, I think I added a couple across the Midwest. My dad and I drove from Bellingham over to Fayetteville or Fort Bragg in North Carolina. And so that kind of takes you mostly through the middle of the country, which we had stayed along the southern border. So I got a little higher. I think I hit like Kansas and Nebraska and Missouri. Uh, yeah, I think that was a couple of new ones. Didn't really get to spend much time in them, but I've literally driven from end to end through all of them.
Now, if you can remember, which state do you think has the best food?
Holy cripes. That's so tough. If I wanted to go for like the greatest variety in the shortest commuting distance, I think New York City takes it
Okay.
hands down
Okay.
because you can find great, like some of the greatest foods in the world
Mm,
of all different variety, all
that's
being made there. Plus, you get like the New York street food.
yeah.
Oh, and
God.
just you would have unique shit popping up.
Well, now I just want
But
to
I
go there for
also
that.
really love the food of the South. I just always have to plug that.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my gosh. Cornbread, pecan pie,
Pecan, not pecan.
pecan, sweet tea, collard greens, green beans, grits, shrimps. Oh, yeah. I love all of that food too.
Crawfish.
Yeah.
Okay, well now how about Canada?
That's hard to say because I haven't eaten in a lot of
Not no,
Canada.
not food. Like where have you been around in Canada?
Oh, I see. Yeah. BC, Alberta, and Manitoba.
Yeah, and you just went to Manitoba like last year.
Yeah. I spent like an 8-hour layover in Toronto at the airport, but I don't really count that as having been there.
Yeah, not if you were.
I didn't get out, see anything, do
Yeah.
anything. I just
um,
like ate an A&W burger.
is there anywhere you want to go in Canada?
I really have had a deep desire to want to go north. I want to check out parts of the Canadian Arctic. Something about it I find fascinating.
You're gonna have to go alone then, because that sounds too chilly for me. I don't know. Maybe I would try one time because I'd like. Okay, so I heard, um, like a friend and her mom went. I think you might have heard the story too. Natalie and her mom went to the north, and I don't remember exactly where. What's up there again?
There's
Yellowknife, I think it was.
yeah.
And they stayed in like a cabin or something with uh wow. I feel so dumb right now. Um
So they're like a cabin around
it's
Yellowknife.
it like a cabin that didn't have like anything, like a
Yeah.
super old they had the huskies outside for
Like no
s-
plumbing, no electricity.
yeah, they had like an outhouse and stuff, but they did it all in the snow and had to keep like a fire going and like a really rustic kind of old school experience in the north. And I'm like, that sounds cool. I think that sounds cool. I'll probably complain a lot, but it would be a great experience.
Yeah. It's so wild up there.
I want to go on dog drawn snow sled.
Oh.
What are those called again?
I forget. I guess a dog sled?
Dog sleds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do that.
That's a wild want to do.
Yeah. Like watching Balto and Snow Dogs and all
Is
that
that the one
stuff.
with Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Cuba Gooding Journey. Yeah,
Yeah.
Snow Dogs. Yeah.
Hilarious. I forgot about that movie.
Oh,
Oh
and there's a
man.
really good movie actually with fuck, what's his name? Super wrinkly face. Who's Goblin? Goblin? Spider-Man?
Willem
Wilhelm,
Dafoe?
yeah, Willem Dafoe. Um, I think it's called Togo or something.
Oh yeah. I think I remember that.
It's yeah.
Togo sounds familiar.
That's a great film. And it's
Huh.
based on true story.
Yeah, wasn't it a book?
Well, I know it was a true story, but
I feel like it was. Okay. I feel
but
like I heard of a book.
anywho,
But yeah,
side.
I'm really drawn to these far away remote places and similarly want to have experiences of like short durations of what's it like to live like that, completely reliant off land with no help around.
Yes.
Yeah, there's something really cool about surviving that,
Well, they
even for a short length of
yeah.
time,
Well, they stayed in, like, this little building that that had, like, a host building where that the couple would,
for sure.
make sure they had everything they needed and if they had any problems or how to use anything.
Yeah,
Um,
which would be great. I know I'd have to work up that way because I think the thing that excites me about it is getting to a point where you could spend a week or something, like, literally living nowhere, like, with no supports. Like, that's a big thing to work up to,
for
right?
sure.
So, you'd have to start small. But I guess that's why those areas attract me.
Yeah. Where was the last place you traveled to outside of North America?
Outside of North America. That was yeah, that big trip around Europe in 2019.
Oh,
So when we
okay.
landed in London, went over
Okay.
to Sweden, down to Munich, out to Ireland, back to England, and
Was
a
yeah.
stop in
You
Iceland.
didn't go to Mexico or anything like
That's North America, though.
that? Okay, sorry. North America? Mexico.
In North America? Yeah. But it would have been that same year. In the spring, I went to Europe, and then in the fall, I went to Mexico.
Okay. I guess where was the last place you went that wasn't Canada or US?
Yeah, Merida in Mexico
What'd you go there for?
to buy a place.
Have you been back since?
Nope.
So what's happening with that place?
It's being rented and it's listed for sale.
Yeah.
Yeah. My ideas and my vision changed.
Well, of course, when you haven't been back in years because of fucking COVID and then plans change, life changes a little bit too.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, I guess there are a lot of changes that happened around the world and just within life and different goals that yeah, made that specific place not really fit in anymore. But I still want somewhere warm because I really I can't be someone who lives all year every year in Canada.
Mhm.
Like I love snow and the cold, but not that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be a bit too much. And Vancouver's just
Oh, yeah,
not warm
no,
enough.
we're not going
It's
back
not.
there at all
Yeah, it's not the
ever.
right
Sorry.
thing. I want
Not
that desert. I wanna,
yeah.
like, lay
Me
out on the
too.
rocks in the sun for
Me
hours
too. I
and
wanna do
just
that.
bake.
I'm on board. I'm coming with you.
Just
Where are
wanna
we
yeah.
going?
I find it funny sometimes how wherever we grow up, like, we always have a love for that place, but at the same time, we have this deep yearning, I feel, for being in the opposite.
Well,
Like, I grew up in this cold, damp, humid,
mhm.
cold place,
Yeah, yeah.
and then
And
I'm like, just I want that dry, hot
some of
desert.
us, I think, some of us never go anywhere, never leave our hometowns, and that's really sad for all those people. Where are you planning on
Whatever
going
makes you happy.
next?
I have tickets to go to France in the spring.
With
I'm going with my family. My dad really likes a lot of World War II history, specifically anything to do with D-Day.
So you guys are going there specifically for
Yeah, it's a big
something?
anniversary. If I could do math quickly in my head, I would tell you what
That's
year it
okay.
is. But, yeah, they do a big ceremony and celebration there, and a lot of veterans come from around the world. Last year, my parents went with oh, I forget how they met these folks, but they went with this, World War II veteran, Danny, who I believe is, like, one of the last remaining, like, D-Day veterans alive. So it was a big deal, and I think that might have been his last year. He's not going again this year,
Right.
so who knows? But anyhow, my dad loved that because he got to go around Normandy with a guy who
Yeah.
was actually there at, like, this huge celebration of the whole event, and
Crazy.
yeah, it was really fun. I think it was one of my mom's first times in Europe as well. I think my dad had been there, but it was on military stuff, not,
Mhm.
like, just touristing around. So they invited me to go back this year because they just had so much fun, wanted to go back again, and they felt like inviting me along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah, so we'll go there. I'm excited to see a different part of France.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I always believe that every country is, it's they're all very distinct within their own borders even. So, however one part of a country is, doesn't mean there's not something you can love and appreciate about a different part or region of the country.
Mhm.
So, before I would ever, dismiss an entire country, I'd want to make sure I've gone like everywhere there is in that
Yeah,
country. Because, yeah, people are just fun and unique and different. And I love the coast. I'm kind of excited to be near the ocean for a little.
that's nice.
Yeah, I miss that being here.
I do miss water for sure.
Yeah, some of those like gray, hazy days when you can just like, put on a light little jacket, go wander by the beach.
Yes, and then
Those were
we're
nice.
planning to go to Mexico next winter, right?
Yeah,
We're planning that. I need to go somewhere hot.
we're going warm for sure.
Yeah, in the winter. That's the goal. So then we're gonna do that next year too.
Yeah. So if we still got the house, we'll go there.
Mhm.
If not, we'll look at what we can do.
Yes, but
What's affordable, what's in season,
I
what
would
sounds interesting.
love to go somewhere other than fucking Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah, we're not going there.
Yes, just and I'm excited to go with you because you've been all over.
I feel so rusty about traveling right now.
Yeah, but you also sold the Yucatan very well too.
So, oh, just
Like
as
just
a
how it
place to go
sounds.
to?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's an amazing place. I wanna spend so much more time around there. Um, yeah, I feel so rusty because 'cause it's been so many years since I've gone anywhere or, like, on a big trip,
Mm,
2019.
yeah.
Like, man,
I mean, we did
that's
go to
nuts.
Disneyland.
Yeah, but
I know that's
those aren't,
nothing
like, trips.
for sure.
Those kinds of,
Do you,
like, adventure explorer place.
you have any advice for us travelers or anything any more you want to share?
Just go
Yeah.
and find a way to make it work,
Yeah.
and also, um, don't be don't be cheap at the risk of being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
I say when you're looking around places, that there's often a lot of sticker shock at the beginning of, oh my God, a hotel or a hostel or whatever is going to cost me this much, or that's all that's available. And then there's some other little deal that pops up and it's half the cost and it's blah, blah, blahs. And, you're like, oh my God, this is so good. Like, resist the urge to book that because it's probably not true.
Mm,
Or like in Rome, I remember you have to pay a cash only tax like per night on your hotel, which basically is going somewhere not legit.
okay.
But
Oh,
because no one
okay.
tells you this up front either. It's
Yeah.
kind of this like little extortion
Oh.
tossed on top at the end, you know. Or at least I guess it can kind of feel that way to me. If someone warned me, uh, cool. But
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I didn't know about that. So you're kind of like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Things might always cost a little more. Just be ready with that. And yeah. Yeah, but I think ultimately the best way to combat any of that being taken advantage of stuff is to just go around with confidence. And if you make an error, make it confidently.
Mhm.
Like
Don't look like a tourist. No,
yeah.
like look like you know where you're going.
Yeah.
Sorry. You have a purpose.
Yeah. In the old days it was like don't walk around holding maps and stuff, and at least nowadays you can disguise that a little more with your phone cuz everyone's looking at their phone for different reasons, but um yeah. And think of who are the reliable types of people you could ask for information, you know? Like, just think within your own culture, right? If you needed some information about where to go, who are you gonna go ask or what kind of person are you gonna look for?
Mhm.
What kinda shop would you go into?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Because
like
I
those.
think we take for granted how much we just trust people within our own communities and cultures, right? We trust that they're being honest, that they're looking out for us, that they, care about our well-being. And when you're traveling, you're an outsider.
Mhm.
You're not part of the group, the culture, the community. So there are certain people who might not want you there.
Yeah.
They're not looking out for you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, dangerous.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. You can find my work on Instagram
At Jake Warren Creates.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so once we get to more places for me, then we'll start talking.
What kind of places do you wanna go?
Well, funny enough, I never wanted to go to France. But I guess I gotta go. And I've always wanted to go to Egypt,
Oh, wild.
but I hear it's dangerous.
Yeah, people say that.
Dangerous for women. So that's something that I'd have to really like look into. Um uh yeah, different parts of Mexico. I want to go to the Caribbean somewhere. I really want to go to an island, like a Caribbean island.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool to go see what's the place called with pirates? Starts with
The
an
place
N.
with pirates. Nicaragua?
No. No, no, no. Where like
Nigeria?
no.
It was Somalia.
No.
Somali pirates, right?
No,
That's
no,
who took out Tom Hanks.
no. No. Um shoot, where the pirates had their
Is
trading
in,
island
like, the
place, black sails. It's
I'm so
it's such
rusty
an
on
obvious it's so
folklore.
obvious we're all gonna feel so stupid
There are
later.
people screaming at the
I
podcast right now.
know. Pirate known island. Oh my gosh, I'm so mad right now.
Nantucket Island.
Nantucket.
That's Rhode Island, isn't it? No. Yeah, Nantucket, Rhode Island. Shit.
Uh, Nassau.
Oh, no, I
Nassau.
would not
Yeah.
have guessed. Is that near Bahamas?
Let me see. Where is Nassau? Nassau.
Yeah, isn't it in Bahamas?
It's the capital of Bahamas.
Ah. And that was like a lot of pirates did business there? Invaded there?
Yes.
I don't
Yeah, it's
know.
like real life pirate hideouts.
Real life.
Real life.
It was dangerous if we go there.
It is.
We're gonna be involved in piracy.
But I've always thought that'd be
Shit.
cool. I actually don't know what the condition is. I think I've heard bad things about it, that place too. So anyways, um, where else? Where else though? Oh, I've always wanted to go to Ireland and
We can go back
all
there.
those,
Of
yeah,
course.
all those, like
So
England,
cool.
Ireland, Scotland. Um, uh, f- I I never really cared much for like Italy and Spain and stuff. Doing a whole European tour.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm willing to go to some places and stuff, check it out. Um, but I don't have a huge drive like people do to go over that way.
Mhm. I think there's
Oh,
only
and
major cities
Japan.
there.
Japan for sure.
Yeah. I wanna go
Well,
eat across
one day.
Vietnam.
Yeah, that would be fun too, Vietnam. Australia, maybe. New Zealand. I'd rather go to New Zealand over Australia.
I'd wanna go to Australia with Australian friends.
You're gonna have to go make some Australian friends. Oh, you have an Australian friend.
Yeah.
There you go. But New Zealand, yeah, I definitely want to go to the Shire because they have like a like pub Hobbit Shire from when they had filmed Lord of the Rings over there.
Yeah.
So it's like a real place you can go.
They got a lot of Lord of the Rings attractions over there.
Okay, yeah, I want to go see.
It's a lot of cool mountains and valleys too.
Hmm.
I'd like that.
Hawaii.
Yeah,
Never
we gotta
know.
go to volcanoes.
Yeah. So I guess there's quite a few places. I am not particularly fond of the idea of really seeing anywhere else in the States. I mean, I'm willing to go if there's a reason to go or if you want to go for something, but it's not something I'm gonna like think about planning.
I'd like to see all 50 by the end of my life.
Yeah, that's doable.
Yeah, not too many more to go. My dad did it. I think my mom's almost there.
There you go.
My brother keeps creeping closer. So, I don't know. Maybe all of us will have seen all 50 of the states.
I'm sure.
It's a fun thing.
Hmm.
It'd be cool to knock off all the provinces and territories in Canada as well.
Good plan for that.
I mean, I just figure I'm a citizen of the countries. I should see the countries. Like, that'd be amazing. What
All
a cool
right.
goal.
Let's start planning trips. Got
Yeah.
so much to do.
We got to go
We
down to the Dakotas.
better get going then.
Yeah. It's fun being this far east now in life, like in Calgary, compared to all of my life. I've been on the
Mhm.
coast. So to me, it's hilarious to think that, oh my gosh, we're right above like Montana. And there's a lot of stuff that's around us down there we could go see, or how close we are to Saskatchewan.
Oh, for sure.
It's like,
I
wow.
mean, for how many hours we've spent driving from here to fucking like Vancouver Island or Spokane,
Yeah.
we can handle any drive. And 4-hour drive is nothing.
I'd like to do it on a train. That'd be so awesome.
What
Oh,
kind of
excuse
train?
me. Where's the yawn button? We need the yawn button.
Well, thanks for passing that on.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
for passing that yawn.
And you're welcome to you, listener, as you
Yeah.
yawn.
Yeah. All
Cool.
right.
That sounds like a good place to wrap.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.